Good evening, I'm Suzanne Spencer. Rick has the night off. Happening right now, lawmakers continue to make to work changes to the state's religious freedom restoration law. They will be meeting in a conference committee tomorrow morning to discuss changes in wording. That could lead to a deal on potentially fixing the bill. Governor Pence said yesterday he hoped to sign the clarification to the bill by the end of the week. Earlier today, House Speaker Brian Bosma said he was feeling pretty good about Republican support for a potential deal, but he declined to provide details. Democratic lawmakers want the law to include anti-discrimination protections for employment, housing, and public accommodations, as well as for gays and lesbians. A local pizzeria in Walkerton is feeling the heat. Owners of Memories Pizza say their business reflects their Christian beliefs. They wouldn't deny service to a gay person at their restaurant, but they would refuse to make pizzas for a same-sex wedding. WSBT 22's James Fillmore is at the live desk. James, a lot of people are upset about this tonight.
Yeah, and in some cases there have been threats, Suzanne.
Thanks, James. About 750,000 Catholics live in Indiana, and tonight the state's 5 bishops are reacting to the law, saying no Hoosiers should face discrimination. Bishops from Indianapolis, Lafayette, Gary, Fort Wayne, South Bend, and Evansville released a joint statement saying, quote, "Every person should be treated with dignity and respect, and the rights of one person should never be used to deny the rights of another." Former Indiana Governor and former South Bend Mayor Joe Kernan released a statement on the law. Thanks, Matt. An update to breaking news we brought you at 5. If you plan on flying with Allegiant Air, you better listen up to this story. The airline says its pilots plan to go on strike tomorrow. The pilots are upset over changes in crew scheduling and a rollback in the disability program. The two sides had been negotiating until a stalemate in November. Thursday is one of Allegiant's busiest travel days, and a nationwide strike could ground 250 flights, affecting 33,000 customers, including those in our area. 3 flights are scheduled to leave South Bend tomorrow. So if you want to know how does this affect you, Allegiant has already started notifying passengers. It suggests you sign up for those travel alerts on their website. Now it's also relaxing its cancellation and change fee policy, and they will be providing a full refund for those flying between April 2nd and April 7th. The tenants of the former Chase Tower are having some trouble moving out. That's because all 4 elevators aren't working. Now they're left wondering, how are they supposed to move out?
As you see, we have bookcases, we have the table, we have chairs. These items cannot be taken up and down 18 flights of stairs.
It's the building that distinguishes South Bend's skyline, but it will soon be empty.
I've been here almost 10 years, a little more, my partner, and you have a lot of stuff, big stuff. You can't just get it out immediately.
In mid-January, Bradley Company, the company that manages the tower, told tenants like Vince Campiti they had to be out in 30 days because of significant maintenance needs.
That was impossible for the majority of the tenants.
Then Bradley told tenants they had to be out by March 27th, but at least 4 tenants are still inside, and all 4 elevators don't work. But Bradley expects the tenants and their stuff to be out.
One sect wants to clear the buildings so that they can do whatever work they say they are going to do, and the other sect is trying to get out of the building. So clearly we need the elevators operational to get out of the building. Otherwise, you're essentially held hostage.
Bradley says a leak caused elevator problems, but tenants say at most 2 elevators have worked at a time in the past 4 years, not to mention the steps.
I have had to walk up the steps the past 3 days, 18 flights. I've had to reschedule clients.
Campiti says his law firm is packing for their new location in downtown South Bend, but right now they're stuck at a standstill.
We haven't been able to find a mover that is willing to walk up and down 18 flights of stairs with all our stuff. Some tenants told WSBT 22 that Bradley had initially told them it would not be repairing those elevators, that the company would only turn on elevators during designated move-out days. In an email, the management company said the elevator parts have been ordered and it will be repaired tomorrow. New at 11, all eyes will be focused on the Final Four this weekend. The sex trafficking expert says the only way to really stop this is by dissuading potential customers. The court battle between ESPN and Notre Dame continues tonight. The media giant is suing the university because it refused to release campus police records. In a hearing in front of a judge today, a lawyer representing Notre Dame said the university's police department
acts under the trustee's power. Indiana's public access counselor said in January Notre Dame should release records to ESPN. The judge said he'll issue an order by April 20th. New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez has been charged with using his office to improperly benefit a Florida eye doctor and political donor. A federal grand jury indicted the Democrat on charges including conspiracy to commit bribery. New at 11, Michigan State researchers are heading a $4.7 million federal program aimed at reducing obesity among preschool children. The 5-year grant is part of a $42 million Department of Agriculture initiative. It's funded under the 2014 Farm Bill. Crews were trying to put out several brush fires today, but find out why this one was set intentionally. We're only days away from the Final Four. What you can do this weekend in Indy without buying a ticket to the big game. Sure, lots of happy kids out there. A nice Easter weekend.
Yeah, don't have
Easter egg hunts.
to find the Easter egg hunts in the snow this year.
I know. Thanks, Matt. You don't need to have a ticket to this year's Final Four in Indy. Find out how coming up next. Fire crews in Elkhart County were out for hours today trying to put out a brush fire in a 5-acre cornfield near County Road 26 and County Road 1. The owner of the field said it started when he tried to burn some garbage. Most prescribed burns take place in the first half of April after the last snowfall and before heavy rain sets in. The federal government is monitoring Holy Cross College very closely right now. It's one of 560 institutions on the Department of Education's heightened cash monitoring list. It in no way impacts the education for students. Holy Cross will be subject to more reporting, monitoring, and federal oversight. Well, new at 11, we're another day closer to Final Four games, and there are lots of fun and festivities if you plan on making that trip down to Indianapolis. Construction crews are working around the clock, setting up for this rocking weekend in downtown Indianapolis. Friday, you can see open practices in a Reese College All-Star game, which are all free to attend. Also beginning at noon on Friday, the Fan Fest at the Convention Center. That's less than a week away until the South Bend Cubs arrive, and the Notre Dame women are getting ready for another trip to the Final Four. Pete looks ahead to this next game after this.
Transition from winter sports to spring sports. Going to see a lot more baseball, a lot more softball, some golf coming into play. It'll be fun to have the South Bend Cubs here next week.
Absolutely. It's going to be a busy week for those South Bend
It
sports
will be,
fans.
yeah, we'll have a good time, though.
All right. Thanks, Pete. Matt's got a final look at the weather next. Looks like we got a weekend full of ups and downs with some of our weather.
Yeah, that's how it works around here in the spring, that's for sure. We're getting the 60s back next week before we cool back down.
It looks like your April Fool's joke is 2 days too late.
I know, sorry. Right?
Right. Dave has Al Franken tonight. Join Bob, Leanne, and Carrie for WSBT 22 News, first in the morning starting at 5. Thanks for joining us tonight.